What a mess. What a mess. It's not yarn barf. This is ripped out rows, like 5 rows at least. Because Christy made a boo-boo. And I found it like 5 rows later. I'm just zipping along. So it's not tangled. But we'll see as we go and try to reconstruct all that I had to tear out. What a bummer. I wonder if it's easier to frog crochet or knitting. Who's watching this video that does both? Who crochets and knits? And which is easier for you to fix, knitting or crochet? I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Thank you so much. Hi everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Christy and this is Yarn Barf. I want to talk about, I guess, unfinished objects, UFOs. Oh, you know what that is? That's my fan. It's going making bong bong sounds. We don't need sound effects. Anyway, I don't know, how old is your oldest UFO or unfinished object? I can show you this sweater I started back in the 80s. You can't even, oh my gosh, cat, you gotta get your claws out of my leg. Ow, 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 ow. And I mean, it was skinny. This is, I can't even, I don't know where the pattern is. I had to go to eBay to get the yarn because it takes Dazzle-Air. I don't know if you can see it. I mean, it's a gorgeous, really a gorgeous sweater. And I don't know what happened. You know, life throws you curveballs, and I never got back to get more Dazzle-Air. Love bites. That's Rascally Rabbit. So that one's pretty old. I'd say I started that in 1984. And let's see, this one. And Ginger from Yarn Geek is going to be my inspiration that we're going to try knitting this. This was going to be a poncho. But I used double thread. And I don't know, all you got to do is be 1 or 2 stitches off and then... Cats, I got one on either side. Fighting for space on this couch with these cats. Yes, mommy loves you. This is going to be a poncho, but it's really, really long. It's too long. Ow! Stop nipping, mommy. No love bites. I don't know if you can see it. Got his claws in me. Yeah, it was really too long. It got out of control. I just got the crocheting and, you know, mindless crocheting. So no. I think we'll start knitting. Knitting. Who says knitting? Carrie from the Yarny Elephant. I think she calls it knitting. And I think Madonna Ballard, I think she calls it knitting too. So we might try knitting all this stuff up together. I've got one more whip in my closet, and I started that back in 2000, and I had just moved to Perineville, New Jersey. Just got it was a real nice apartment, 2 bedrooms, a big back room that looked out into the yard, a creek in the yard with 2 trees I hung a hammock from and listened to the babbling brook. It was nice, but the rent was $9.50 a month, and then every year they were going to raise it, I think, $50. It's $1,000 a month. Whew. Yeah, New Jersey's ridiculously expensive, and we did have city water. And it was such high iron content. I mean, if you had blonde hair, you were going to be a redhead. So let me go pull out the other whip that I started back in 2000 when I first moved there, which I think was 2006. I was in Ocean Gate 5 years. So 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2006, I started this. And it all started from a doily, a book of like little doilies. So... creative brain modification. Let's try putting these things, make it with regular yarn. And I think I probably used an H hook or an I at the most. And I was putting it all together. I said, I can make a poncho out of this. And it was really pretty because, you know, I love rainbow colors. But I only needed a few more squares. And again, I don't know if I can even find the book that had that pattern in it. And like just like with my sweater that I started, where you couldn't get the Dazzle yarn anymore. I have no idea where that pattern is. I have a big shed full of stuff. Ugh. Yes, I know, Mommy loves you. I have 3 cats. These are my old boys I rescued when I was a truck driver. In Livingston, Texas, they were under the hood of somebody's car. And she had to go to work. And they had 2 siblings, babies, 5 weeks old, just weaned. And they got up into her car and I couldn't get them. And she said, well, I have to go to work. So she drove away with those 2 little helpless kittens up in her car. Thankfully, I got Rascal and Rexy, but there was a pretty little ginger one, little orange and white kitty. It was just heartbreaking that getting to work on time was more important than saving those 2 precious little lives. And these guys in the truck, for days, they were mewing and looking every nook and cranny. They were looking for their siblings. It took them close to a week to stop looking and crying for their siblings. So they're about 9 years old now. Oh, yes, and Rascal likes to give love bites. Let me get that pretty poncho I was working on. It doesn't look like I had all that much more to do on it either. And these were actually from a book, I guess, a little doilies, and how you attach them all together. And there's all bright colors, and there wasn't much more to do on it. I know that much. But it's really pretty. You can see it was kind of poncho shaped, I think. Can you see that? Can you see? And yeah, how many more squares? 1, 2, 3, 4. Not that many more squares to finish it off. But do I know what yarn I was using? No. Basically, and I called it, I think I call this a spring fling poncho because, yeah, it's like butterfly colors, all these pretty colors, and lacy. I mean, this would have really been an outstanding, and all it was from a doily pattern in a book, but instead of making little thread doilies, I did them with yarn, and they are attach as you go. The book teaches you how to do that. Oh, and I think the center pieces I crochet around, you're supposed to crochet around them, and let's see if I can find one where I did that. Yeah, here. See, you crochet around and close up that hole a little bit. But I don't remember what yarn I used. I would have to bring this to a yarn store like Walmart. The closest thing for me is Wally World. And in the beginning, I showed you a big pile of, I got one cat on either side of me here, like bookends. That big pile of yarn in the beginning, and I'll explain what happened there. And no, it's not yarn barf like you think. You would think it is. Okay, move over, Rexter, sexy Rexy. What happened was, I think as you know from the other day, I had a whip, a work in progress, which is going to be a poncho, but it was made with number 2 thread, and me being experimental and modifying things. Here, guys, why don't you get your full faces in here? There we go. Anyway, I ended up missing one of these corners, and I went back about 5 rows. So I had to frog it, ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. That's what they call it, frogging. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. And I hate that, and I had that big pile of yarn on the bed. I'm like, oh my God. Thankfully, it didn't get tangled, at least not yet. But it's going to get tangled now, as I think I've got the kitten playing with it down on the floor. Smudge. I've got cats up the wazoo. Oh, Lord have mercy. And then rummaging through my stuff and my yarn room where I can barely move because of stuff. These rooms in this house are really too small. I was still trucking when I bought this house, so I didn't have time to do anything. I mean, it's get home and you're getting ready to head back out again, and you still need to sleep a good 8 hours a night, and man, you'd be tired from the road. I'd sleep 9 hours. But anyway, I found these books. Sons of Stitch and Bitch, 45 projects to knit and crochet for men. Is that cool? I think I'm going to save this. This is brand new. I probably half price books. I don't know if I got it at Ollie's or not. It just says thrift books. And where's the other one? There's another good one I'm going to like. Oh, this I've had forever. This might have been where I got that little doily pattern. This is the Encyclopedia of 300 crochet patterns, stitches, and designs. And I think I have another book very similar to it. But where it is, might be in the shed. It's not in the yarn room. And we're missing a book. Wait a minute. Are you sitting on the other book? Help! Here it is. This is going to be fun. This is called Stitch and Bitch Crochet, the Happy Hooker. I was tempted at the end of my videos to say, and happy hooking. Only yarny folks would understand that. Stitch by stitch instructions so clear that anyone can learn to crochet, even a knitter. 40 fresh original patterns, tools, tips, techniques. Voulez-vous crochet avec moi? Is this awesome? And I bought that for a friend, and I might have bought, knowing me, if it's on sale and it's a good deal, I'll buy more than one. So I don't know if I gave it to her one or not, but she can't crochet anymore. She says her arthritis in her hands is so bad. And it breaks my heart. That's my dear friend Misty. Oh, the cat's into something. Hear that racket? Smudge, what are you doing? Sounds like a litter box. Hey, noisy. Where was I? Oh, he's giving me love bites again. See, it's really difficult to make videos when you've got your cats around. They're very distracting. But I love them, so you deal, you know, there are pets. I had a dog, but I won't get into that. I had a big battle with someone who took my dog to hold it for a while, and he won't give it back, and that's an ongoing battle for the last 3 years. And the dog keeps running away from him. Runs down to the gas station, hops in someone's car. Hi, can I go for a ride? Can I be your new friend? He's a Shih Tzu. And yeah, Shorty won't even, I shouldn't say his name. This man won't even let me have my dog for like a week to stay here. So anyway, I want to keep it happy. Happy, 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 happy cats, happy yarn, happy crochet. So I guess my question was, I have another UFO out of the shed, and I remember starting that. Those are squares, big blue and white squares. I think I was one square short of a blanket. I think I made up a new expression, like one brick short of a load. That was one square short of a full blanket. And I saved them all. They're in a box. And again, the yarn I used may not be available, and that was 1986. I remember exactly when I started it and where I was and who I was with. So, how old is your UFO, your unfinished object? And also, what do you find it easier to do when you have to rip out rows like I did, frog back 5 rows to fix the error I had? And that's in crochet. Now, I don't know how to knit real good, but I can knit. But I do know that knitting, when you find a boo-boo like a drop stitch, it's hard to fix, where I think with crochet it's a lot easier to fix. So I'd like your thoughts and opinions on that. And tell me about your unfinished objects. Do you have any? All right, thank you for coming by and spending a few minutes with me and meeting my little love bugs. Oh, he's all curled up. He loves his sexy Rexy loves his mommy. Yes, and so does Rascal. They're good boys. I guess, like I said, they're 9 now. Rascal's too fat. But they turned out to be great trucking cats, and I named them, and within a week they knew their names. I bought a soft carrier that I would put on the top bunk of my sleeper bunk. I had 2 bunks. And I put the soft carrier up there. It was, I had their pillow in there, and that was their house. Now, when they would mew when they wanted to come out to get fed or use the litter box, so I'd stop for a few minutes and let them do that and play a little bit. And then I'd say, oh, come on, babies, it's time to go back to your house. And man, it wasn't but like 2 days, and they'd just hop right up there and sit right in there and look at me on their pillow. Smart as whips. They'd learn so fast. Anybody who thinks cats are stupid, they need to rethink that, because I used to think cats were stupid. Boy, did I learn different. They're very smart animals, and they know that you teach them their names just like a dog. They'll come running when you call them. You teach a cat the way you teach a dog, basically. Yes, he's a lover buns. Anyway, I need to get some food in my stomach. I'm getting a little lightheaded. So that's what we've got going on right now. And again, I thank you for stopping by. My name's Christy. Channel is Yarn Bar. Love you all. Have a blessed day. See you later, alligator. Or catch you on the flip side. Meow, baby, as we truckers used to say. Later. Bye.